Hello, multiverse travelers, Celestial here with a brand new look. Upgraded the animation style, new vibes, same chaotic energy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now let's jump into today's topic, James Gunn's DCU lineup. There's a lot to love, a lot to question, and maybe one or two choices that have me scratching my head. We're officially leaving the Snyderverse behind and entering what Gunn is calling Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. And yeah, it's weird, bold, and honestly, kinda refreshing. Let's talk about the big one, Superman's Legacy. The film that's supposed to kick off this whole new DC universe, and honestly, based on what I've seen from the trailer, some early reports, and word of mouth from the cast, it's intriguing. It feels like Gunn's trying to give us a Superman that balances legacy with a fresh take, and I respect that. But I'll be real, I'm still kinda on the fence. Some of the visuals, especially the costume designs, aren't hitting for me just yet. I'm talking about the suit textures, some of the color choices, it just looks a little too soft or cosplay-ish in certain shots, and even some of the casting choices. I'm not 100% sold on some of them. That said, this is James Gunn we're talking about. I loved what he did with the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. He took characters people barely knew and made us care deeply about them, so I'm keeping an open mind. Because if there's one director who can surprise us with heart, humor, and emotional payoff, it's definitely Gunn. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is also coming, and it's based on Tom King's comic run. We're getting a Kara Zor-El, who's seen way more trauma than Clark and grew up watching her world die. It's space opera meets revenge journey, and that's a tone shift I welcome. Now, here's the one I'm most unsure about, The Brave and the Bold. Yeah, this is the project that's finally giving us Damian Wayne in live action, which I love in theory. But here's my issue, we're about to have two different Batman running at the same time in the movies. You've got Matt Reeves' Batman, which is already a fan favorite, building up this gritty grounded universe, and now James Gunn is launching a separate Batman and Robin timeline in the same era. I get that Gunn wants to explore the full Bat family, and that's something Reeves hasn't done yet, but honestly, why not just fold Matt's Batman into the DCU? He's already got a solid foundation, a strong cast, a Gotham that feels real. Why start over again when you have something that is working? This whole two Batman at once thing is just asking for comparisons, and not the good kind. It risks splitting the fandom down the middle, with people constantly arguing about which Batman is better, instead of just getting invested in one shared universe. And that's not what this new DC universe needs right now. We've had enough division already. Alright, now let's talk about a project that I just don't get, Clayface. Yeah, apparently a solo Clayface movie is in the works, and I gotta be honest, why? I don't want to sound harsh, but this just feels like one of those weird, unnecessary moves. It's giving Sony's Spider-Man villain films without Spider-Man energy. Like, we saw what happened with Morbius and Madam Web and even Joker 2, do we really want to go down that path again? DC doesn't need a disconnected villain origin story for a character that hasn't even been introduced properly yet. There are so many more relevant, fan-favorite heroes that deserve the spotlight first. Where's the Green Arrow and Black Canary film? That's a duo people have been asking for forever. Or Zatanna, who's literally perfect for expanding the mystical side of this universe. And don't even get me started on the fact that we've gotten zero updates on a new Wonder Woman. You're trying to rebuild the DCU, right? Then where's the Trinity? We can't have a functioning universe without Wonder Woman being included. Look, I'm not saying Clayface isn't a cool character. If he shows up as a villain in a Batman movie, sure, I'm all in, but a whole solo film right now feels like a misstep when the DCU should be laying down stronger, more iconic foundations. And now it's being reported that Hossein Amini is set to rewrite the script, and that honestly made me lose hope in the project. No disrespect, but I just haven't been a fan of most of the films he's written. It doesn't give me confidence that this is going to be the breakout film DC thinks it'll be. Alright, next up, Sergeant Rock. Yes, apparently that is a real project being considered in the new DCU lineup. Now look, I get the appeal of digging into DC's war comics and introducing more grounded, gritty stories, but honestly, I'm not really feeling this one. Sergeant Rock is a super niche character, and while he has history, I don't see him being the kind of figure that elevates or connects the new DCU in a meaningful way. The director attached does have a pretty solid track record, so I'm not doubting his ability to pull off a gritty war story that feels unique within this new universe. But at the same time, production has reportedly been delayed, and that's not a great sign. Plus, why are we focusing on a World War II soldier in a universe that still hasn't locked down its main trinity or set up its cosmic or magical sides yet? It feels more like a side quest than a pillar. And if the goal is to expand genres within this new universe, cool, but there are better characters to do that with. And on top of that, can we talk about DC's marketing team? Because right now, even Superman's Legacy, their flagship reboot, hasn't made the kind of splash you'd expect. The promo so far feels quiet, disconnected, like there's no real hype-building strategy in place. If that's how they plan to roll out these lesser-known projects too, we've got a problem. In short, Sergeant Rock might be a fine story for later down the road, but for right now, DC needs focus, big characters, big moments, and way better marketing to bring the fans along for the ride. And that's it for this breakdown of some of the more questionable picks in James Gunn's DCU lineup. I'll be diving deeper into the rest of the upcoming DC projects in part 2, so definitely stick around for that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you excited for these projects, or do you think DC needs to refocus? Until next time, this is Celestial for Pop Nexus, signing off.